Fox News. I am your host, Nick Burkhardt. Today we're going to be going over DeSantis' radical book agenda. Having us today is Lindsay Wilson.
Thank you for having me, Nick. DeSantis' plan to take books out of the classroom is not what most Americans think. If we want to make this country great again, we need to include these books in the education of our future generations. For example, we need to drain the swamp of those corrupt politicians in DC. But how do we do so? We need good leadership to replace them. By reading books such as Beowulf, we can have examples of good leaders such as King Hrothgar and his advice to Beowulf. If we read books like Macbeth, we can see examples of bad leaders and how his poor decisions ultimately end in his disastrous death. All of these can give good lessons for our future generations to know what to do and what not to do when they become leaders in our government.
You know, Lindsay, that's a great point. There's definitely some politicians out there that could read these books and benefit from them.
Thank you. We can even bring religion back into schools. In Paradise Lost, John Milton attempts to justify God's actions towards man and cover the fall of man, starting with Satan's rebellion. He uses great imagery throughout, and not only will children see how powerful God is and understand why Adam and Eve had no chance against Satan, but we will see the results of pride, greed, and lust in hell, bringing God back into the schools.
So isn't that just a fan fiction of the Bible? Isn't that just blasphemy?
Not exactly. Through the intense imagery that Milton uses, it could spark some interest in religion and also allow people to think of these biblical characters and God in new ways and make it interesting to these young children. Also, people have just become way too complacent lately with the government. They don't ask questions, they just become sheep. We cannot let them push their agendas onto us. In books such as Gulliver's Travels here, the Swift presents an amusing satirical reflection of European government at the time. He calls them out through stories such as high-heeled and low-heeled people, a war over an egg, and more. And books like Utopia here point out the flaws in our own society by showing us what a perfect society might look like, and even points out some suggestions for how to make our own society better. By reading books like these, our future generation can see how they can become free thinkers and be comfortable critiquing the government and identifying flaws within society. This will clearly help us get away from this brainwashing attempts that the government has been doing and not be sheep.
You know, Lindsay, you bring up some great points there. I might have to borrow that Gulliver's Travels at some point.
I'll make sure to give you one after the show.
Appreciate it.
Lastly, taking away reading will take away any challenges that these kids need to toughen them up. We don't need snowflakes just being around here anymore. Listen to this text from the Complaint of Chaucer to his purse. For certes, but if ye make of me heavy chere, me were as lief be led upon me beare. You do not know what I just said, do you?
Not one bit.
Well, basically, it means if his purse does not give him a bunch of money and make him happy and make him rich, he will die. It's a very entertaining text, but it's a challenge to get through. These kids will need to learn how to adjust, overcome challenges, toughen up, and overall not be a snowflake. So, overall, I know DeSantis thinks banning the books is best for the kids as it protects them from others' ideas, but he has it wrong. These books will strengthen our future generations, and we need to keep the books in the classroom if we want to make America great again, drain the swamp, and not be sheep. Wake up, America.
That's all the time we have today. Thank you, Lindsay Wilson. I hope we get to talk again soon.
Thank you for having me.